What a piece of junk!
This is the Shattered Order Podcast.
Go switch off!
If you're looking for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, information, and theory crafting, you've found the podcast you're looking for. With your hosts, Goodnight Punk and Wind Killer Inc.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 119th episode of the Shattered Order Podcast. I'm your host, Goodnight Punk, and with me, as always, is my good friend Wink. What's up, Wink?
Hello! How is it going? I am ready to talk some SWGOH. I just had a pre-workout, been working on revving my engine up, so I'm ready to podcast.
Heyo.
See what I did there?
I did. Yeah. Very punny.
I try.
All
right.
You sounded like you were disappointed in yourself there. Oh,
no.
I tried.
I was, yeah, okay. I was a little disappointed in the delivery, but whatever. So we made a wager last week, and
we did.
I'm not paying up this week, but I'll pay up next week, and it'll be worth it. So
I'm okay with that because I obviously know what it is, and I'm happy with it. So I cannot wait for next week. And I'll tell you this much. I made the bet not sure that I would even win it because of the way they've been playing this year. But thankfully, Mason Crosby did not let me down and played like a hero for us. So
next week on episode 120, we're going to have a special guest. How exciting is that?
Very cool. Very cool. Lobot tried to come on, but we denied him for this guy. So, yeah, it'll be pretty cool. I'm excited for
it. Yeah. Nice. I see what you did there. We'll see if people can take that hint and run with it.
We'll see. So I gotta mention something, and I think it's a really cool thing that we've done in the past that has turned into a really awesome guild. And it's about time for us to start another one and get it going again. So if you don't know, you haven't listened to the show for a long time. We started probably, how long do you think it's been now? 8-9 months? Maybe even a year? I can't remember. It's been a while. Elon's in chat. He could probably tell us how long his ult's been going. But there was a new player guild in the Order called Future of the Order. Awesome guild.
Indeed.
Really, really cool guys in there. Filled it up. All those guys have been playing together for a long time now, learning the rules of the game, what to do, how to do it, to get really, really just into the game. So it's been a lot of fun seeing how far along the Future of the Order has come, but it is now time for a new future. And that is to say, if you are a new player looking for a new player guild, we are opening up a second one or a new one because Future of the Order is now, past the new player moniker. So we have a new player guild called the Order Initiates. And that should be getting started after Darkside Territory battles this week. So if you're a new player, the only requirement we have is that you're level 50. So we know that you are into it, you're all about it, you want to play as a team in a guild. So if you're level 50 and you're a new player, we have a spot for you in our new player guild, Order Initiates. So if you're into that, message me on Discord, Goodnight Punk, number 8529. I will put you in contact with our guild leader for that new guild, and it would be awesome to get a bunch of new people new to the game into the order and just start helping them to enjoy this game as much as we do. So if you're interested, let me know.
Heck yeah. I like it. Get some new people in the order. Very exciting. And if you know anyone, if you're friends with anyone that just started playing, share the word. So we're trying to get it filled up and be a lot of fun.
Totally.
Cool. Well, I guess we might as well move on to this.
Hey guys, what did you do in SWGOH this week?
Oh, the stuff we did in SWGOH this week. So not actually in game, but on Tuesday I went and joined our friends over at Operation Metaverse on their Tuesday live stream. So if you want to check that out, go do that. That was a lot of fun. We, talked about how awesome Bastan is, and it was a good time. A real good time. So make sure you go check that out. The other thing that I did this week was I remodded my arena team. Not entirely, but a little bit. And there were a couple reasons why. So,
Let's hear it.
I will gladly tell you because it's hard enough to get me to shut up. All right, so I got a new mod this week. It was a 20 secondary speed set offense primary. It was a gold mod that I bought from the store, and it, just became amazing. So I decided I kind of had to use that. And there was a post I did about something that I had just completely spaced on and didn't even talk about in the video that I did about my arena team. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out. And if you're not already subbed on YouTube, please go sub on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ShatteredOrderPod. We've been posting, stuff there, so make sure you go check that out. And
it's a really good deal too, because if you do it within the next 1,000 days, it will be free. So go sub on YouTube.
Wow, what a bargain!
I'm offering 1,000 days free subs on YouTube right now for everyone.
Wow, craziness! I like it. So, oh yeah, my arena team. I wrote a post, and it was on Reddit, and I'll link to it on the show notes on the site, shatteredorder.com/episode/119. You'll be able to find the link there if you didn't already see it on Reddit. But I was writing about turn meter because whenever I posted the video, there were a lot of people asking, like, this is ridiculous. Your Commander Luke is going before Thrawn and going before Nest. Like, play some good opponents or whatever. Well, there's a reason that was happening. And it wasn't because my Commander Luke is faster than Thrawn or their Nest. There is a little bit of a mechanic that goes on with turn meter gain with Commander Luke against a Traya lead. And that results from Han's first attack calling in Chewie. Because Chewbacca is attacking out of order, he takes damage due to Traya's leader ability, and due to Commander Luke's unique ability, he gains 10% turn meter when any rebel ally takes damage. So, right off the top, Commander Luke was basically starting out with 10% turn meter. And so that actually allowed me to get ahead of Thrawn or Nest or whatever else and give turn meter to the rest of my team. And this was something like I knew it was happening, but I didn't really think about it. And then after I started thinking about it more, I was like, okay, I probably need to remod my arena team because this is actually really beneficial. And it's obviously beneficial because Nest and Thrawn are much less of issues whenever you kind of have your, whenever you're facing Traya leads. And if you want to figure out how to get in front of a Nest or a Thrawn, if you take your Commander Luke's speed, divide it by 0.9, that would be the spot in speed in which he's going on his first turn if you have Han and Chewie on the team and you're going against a Traya lead. I hope all of that makes sense. But you can kind of look at the faster Nest and Throns in your arena, get your Commander Luke over that speed threshold to go ahead of them. And because of the debuffs that he gives, you can make it to where R2-D2 can also go ahead of those characters and stealth, and then they're trapped into a spot where, they're like Thrawn, for example, would be forced to like fracture R2 or Old Ben or whoever it is that gets stealth. So I remodded my team to do that, which actually included slowing down R2-D2, got their speeds a little bit closer, and I also sped up Old Ben because I just wanted to get him going a little bit earlier, and it's been pretty good. I mean, it's about the same. I think one day I dropped into the 20s, but for the most part, it's been like 13 or 10 or 7 that I've been dropping to an arena. I mean, the team's been unbelievable, but because of the amount of speed that I was slowing R2 down, I was able to switch mod sets, and I switched to an offense mod set because I have some really good secondary speeds on offense sets, which allows me to add more offense to everyone, which is beneficial. I think in general, I think speed's better for R2, but if you're able to get him fast enough, I think that's a pretty good way to go. And let's see, that's pretty much the gist of that whole, remodding on my arena team and everything. And like I said, go check out the Reddit post. It kind of goes into a little bit more detail as far as, how to figure all that stuff out. I'm probably going to write something up on the website too. I've got an idea for a page on the site that I need to get to and kind of get that done. But the other thing is before I had zero gold speed set bonus speed arrows. 0. And that seems really weird given the fact that I have farmed I don't know how many speed sets or speed mods, so many, and I didn't have one. So I found one that I really liked. I've been working on slicing it, and just today I took it to gold. So it is at 32 speed, so that is beneficial, obviously, in a speed set. So
you said it's a gold arrow. What were the secondaries like on it?
The secondaries were offense, health.
I kind of figured you would probably do one with offense.
Yeah, I really like the offense. Let's go check it out right now. So it had potency, offense, health, and defense. And the offense percent and the health percent, each of them procced a total of 3 times. So they got a pretty significant bonus. It's 4.1% offense and 4.3% health once sliced. So that's really good. Well, right now it's on Old Ben. Since I remodded my arena team, I put the speed sets on him. But
I was just figuring it wasn't on someone you were trying to get guard on with that much health.
Yeah, no, it's not on somebody that I want to get guard on. Someone that I want kind of tanky, and I figured that's a good one because that mod could go back to R2 at any time. Who knows? And those secondaries are obviously great for that. The other thing was I maxed out Han. I just did that a couple hours ago. It was interesting. The last piece, it was a keypad, and it added, I thought this was interesting, just the amount of stuff that it added total. It was 4.5% defense. With the mods I have on him, it added 84 offense and 0.75 critical chance. So that I thought was pretty awesome. The offense and defense, especially because Han obviously needs that a lot. And of course, add, the speed, which I don't need to tell you about that. They all add speed. The other thing was an arena battle I did this week. I figured out Nest can be a very serious problem with this team. And if you don't remember, I'm talking about the Commander Luke with Han, Chewie, Old Ben, and R2. Nest is a big problem because of the amount of turn meter removal that this team has. Nest won't go. In fact, I kind of think a slow Nest is really good defense because it literally took me 3.5 minutes of operating the team on manual to kill Nest.
You know what? That is a very good point and something that we've never really talked about. But the thing about Nest, right? Especially on a team like yours where 2 characters basics will remove turn meter. If your Nest is slow, the best chance that the other team has to kill your Nest is if she takes a turn and loses her bonus protection. So if you did mod her slow, then it'd be more of a timeout type of plan, which is never a good way to go into a arena team, really. At least it hasn't been. Might be coming up. Who knows? But if your Nest is never going, she's never losing that protection, and they're never going to kill her. So I can see how that would definitely be a good thing and a problem, especially for your team with Han removing turn meter on his basic twice, or CLS removing it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
because that's one of the bigger problems. I mean, even with the Triumvirate team, they're not pulling out turn meter, but killing Nest is just, it's hard enough when she gets all that bonus turn meter. If she's taking forever to get rid of it, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, it's because of the way their specials are. With this team, there's nothing you can do to not remove turn meter. I mean, it does. It kind of sucks when you get into one of those situations. It's a very, very big problem. And I'm considering slowing my Han Solo down just because of that. I could actually add a little bit more offense and lower his speed, and I think I'm probably going to end up doing that just because that kind of freaked me out a little bit. It's a little weird. So the other thing I figured out this week is Night Sisters are awesome. I love this zombie rework. It has made Phase 4 so damn easy. I mean, it's almost effortless to go over 5 million. It's like I cannot even pay attention, and I can screw up halfway through, and I will still get 5 million. It is unbelievably easy.
And your zombie's geared or still under geared?
She is gear 10. I took her to gear 10. That way I don't have the issue with her not coming back and stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, she is absolutely fantastic. I think I have a couple pieces of gear on her in gear 10, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy how freaking good she is in this team now.
So out of curiosity, have you fought any in the arena since the rework? Because there's been a lot of thought that that Night Sister zombie rework was going to make them even better than they used to be in the arena, and I'm kind of curious how many people are fighting them, or if people have.
I do think I did a territory battle with them, or not territory battle, territory war. But yeah, it absolutely makes them so much better in arena, just because, like, even if it's just a team where you stick Daka and Zombie on the team, you have to kill Daka 3 times before you can kill the freaking zombie. Otherwise, it just keeps coming back. I mean, it is.
Which is why I've seen a lot of people talking about just throwing Daka and Zombie in the mix for other mixed teams. Like one of them was that I've heard talked about. I don't know how practical it was, but it was CLS, Han, Chewbacca, Zombie, and Daka.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work.
And that could get real annoying too. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you could also like maybe use Mother Talzin, or I mean, there's probably a lot of combinations you could do there. I mean, that auto revive is crazy good. Like it's so annoying and I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to start seeing them climb into the meta some. I mean, like there's 4 teams you can take first with. CLS lead, Traya lead, well, Emperor Palpatine lead, uh, Bastila lead, Mother Talzin lead. I mean, you have a lot of options in Arena right now. It's kind of crazy and really awesome. I don't remember the last time there were actually this many super viable options. And what's nice is they all do it a completely different way. It's not like you have different teams that win the same type of way. I mean, it really is a rock, paper, scissor type meta. And I'm really enjoying the state of the arena currently. RGT is another one too. Yeah.
So I got I got all my Night Sisters at Gear 12 for the Sith raid. So I'm hoping, you know, at some point, if I can't get Revan, then maybe Night Sisters will be a counter, or we'll find one with these people I have at Gear 12 to tide me over. That would be nice, but we'll see. So that was just a thought on how Night Sisters are in Arena. So I'll have to check into this. I'm interested. They are
nice.
fun.
All right, so let's both of us just go ahead and talk about where we're at. I mean, you mentioned Revan. How are your Knights of the Old Republic doing?
Well, I was 3 shards from Bastila at 6-star yesterday, and after my first 8 today, I'm still 1 shard short of 6-star for Bastila. So 84 out of 85. Jolie's at 82 out of 85. T3, 53 out of 65. I'm doing the 3 refreshes on him every day. Mission Vow,
sure
I haven't even... I'm sorry, I just assumed T3's gender. How terrible of me. It is at 53 out of 65. And Mission Vow, I haven't even touched at 0 out of 30, so good times there. And Zalbar's 15 out of 65, so not that great. My Bastila and Jolie are looking good for the 2 refreshes I've been doing on them since they came out, but even still 100 shards in... Oh, we'll get into that. Never mind. But yeah, I like where they're at. I mean, I like... If there was nothing that they were for in the rate that I'm farming them, I'd be really happy with it. So almost 6-star on those 2 really good ones.
Very nice.
How about you?
I finished Bastila today. Done. I took her to 7-star. That was super awesome.
Nice,
so glad to be done with that. Jolie Bendo is 32 out of 85. I'm a little bit behind you there. My T3 is 4 out of 65, and Mission is 45 out of 65.
That's the one I have.
There were like 3 straight days where I was splitting it up between the 2, but I would do like 10 battles of T3 and get 1 shard, and then I would go do 7 or 8 battles of Mission and get 3 to 4 shards. So I was like, piss on T3. I'm just going to go all in on Mission. And for the past 4 days, at least one of my refreshes has been like 6 or 7 out of 8. And then the rest of them are like 2 or 3 out of 8. So my drop rate on Mission has been pretty damn good. So I am super thrilled about that. So I've just been going all in on her. And then my Zalbar is basically the exact same as yours, 12 out of 65. In other words, a no Revan.
Yeah, so have you been doing refreshes on Zalbar?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's how I got him this far. I've been refreshing like crazy.
See, I haven't... He's the only one I have not refreshed. So I must have started a little bit ahead of you to be where I'm at, still ahead of you, not using refreshes on Zalbar. So... That's what I really want to get the other 2 to 7-star just to straight out focus on Zalbar, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Understandable. All right, so what else did you do this week in SWGOH?
So, pretty cool. I hit the 3.2 million mark. So, it feels like yesterday I was at 2.5, all the way up to 3.2 now. I am about 10,000 from hitting 3.8 on my alt. So, do the math there. Alt's almost 3.8. Main is 3.2. Whatever. But, yeah, I assume I'll hit the 3.8 this week on my alt. That'll be cool. But
Nice.
yep. So the galactic power thing, that was one thing. On my alt, I got Chewbacca to gear 12 last night and threw the 3 gear 12 pieces on him and double Zeta'd him. So if you're not awake tonight, I will be bugging you tomorrow because I plan to, after the podcast, remod my alt account off of my Bastila Jedi team and start up CLS because I have CLS with all the Zetas on that account, R2 with his 2 Zetas, I have Chewbacca now with both of his, I have Han with his, and then I have Old Ben without any of his, all of them at gear 12. So
wow,
I'm planning on putting them in, and I'm also thinking, so I wanted to ask you what you thought of this. I'm thinking about using his I have one more Zeta left after double Zeta-ing Chewbacca, but I have one more Zeta, and I'm really thinking about using it on the taunt for Old Ben, because it's the only one I have both Old Bens left to go on him, but I think I want the taunt one first.
It's pretty good. I mean,
I like the isolate and still taunt thing.
It is really great. It's the only problem is because he does his AoE first, which does remove turn meters, so it's in a way speeds him up a little bit. It is kind of difficult to get off sometimes, but once you get it off, I mean, it is so good.
For sure.
Big fan.
For sure. So that's what I'm thinking of on that account. So really stoked to get him finished on that account. But then on my main, he's at gear 11. I think he's 2 out of 6 right now. Just kind of buying the pieces and parts in the shipments while using all my energy to farm shards. So I'd say Chewbacca will be gear 12 on my main account in like 4 or 5 days, maybe at the most, because I got most of the salvage needed. It's just like 10 or 11 left, and then them not showing up in shipments. So we'll see what happens. But almost there for him, and I'm gonna try. I wanted to move my main arena team to the same team, but the problem is my Old Ben's still gear 9. So, and I don't know what tank to sub for him. At least not one that I have at gear 12.
I actually think there's a lot of options. I've been very tempted to try Shore Trooper. I think Shore Trooper would be good. I think that General Kenobi would be good. I think those are probably the 2 best, but I also think, I mean, Thrawn and Nest are also really good in that last spot as well. They don't offer
that
the
I could
taunt.
do, because I do got Nest ready to go. So
You do. They don't offer the taunt, but they
are who they are. They are who we thought they were.
Well, Ness with the turn meter removal does in a way speed up Old Ben. And what you could do is you could set the team up to where CLS is super fast, and then kind of basically set CLS and Nest to similar speeds, and that would allow you to make Nest even go a little bit faster than you probably really have the speed mods for, and remove turn meter, and that would open the door for Old Ben to remove turn meter, and you could just probably put them in a nasty turn meter hole before the match really begins.
I like your thinking, but the idea here was to replace Old Ben, so that would require me having him in there.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
At gear 9.
Yeah, never mind.
So
touche.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. I still have.
Well, I mean,
Vase
that makes
is also
Nest
an option.
a great replacement. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Nest would work. I have her at Gear 12 ready to go.
Yep.
Baze is probably 2 pieces from Gear 12, so if he would work, that might be another one. But as far as I've heard, people don't really like him.
Probably
so.
be fine, but yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's been going on there. The other thing, I just thought this was funny to mention, and this happened probably not this week, but the week before, and I didn't mention it. I 7-starred Rose on my alt, so I'm really thinking about trying that Zeta idea that we had and seeing how it goes. Because that is what alts are for. At least that's what my alts are for. Doing things I wouldn't do on my main account. So, we'll see. Maybe. Ask me in a week if I Zeta Rose. We'll see what happens. Did you yawn? I forgot to do this.
Oh, are you done talking about Rose yet? I zoned out a little bit. I'm sorry.
You were more than fine a few weeks ago. What happened?
Whatever. Geez, I think that pretty much covers what you did in SWGOH, didn't it?
I think it does, my friend.
All right. Next.
Since everyone loves a good poll, let's dance through the results and see what you thought this week.
Beautiful.
All right, poll time.
It's time for the poll.
Who doesn't love a good poll? All right. What was the question? Like what was it about? I can't imagine what would have happened this week that we could have pulled people over.
Pretty much the same type of thing that happened last week, where we just got more information about everything that we found out last week. So the poll was about what we found out. Revan is a hero's journey. Is he? Well, he's Jedi, so it is a hero's journey. So it's a journey event, and we found that out. So all the questions are kind of based around heroic journeys and around Revan and what's going on there. So, excuse me. The first question. Hit me with that. Hit me with that thing. You know you got.
Oh yeah.
Question 1.
All right, question 1. Not really question, more of a statement, and we were given answers to it. But in one word, it is a question. Never mind. In one word, I just put a period instead of a question mark. Man, what's wrong with me? So bad at these polls. Anyway, in one word, what was your initial reaction to the announcement of Revan's heroic journey? I figured, letting people put one word could be quite interesting. And I think there's one word that stuck out above all else, and it was a 4-letter word that starts with an F. We won't tell you what it is. You can use your mind and guess, but that was by far the one that was written in the most. And
definitely, I'm pretty sure the word was funds.
Total funds. Funsies. Yeah. Beautiful.
Man, yeah, there's a
lot of answers to this question, and a lot of them are different, but I think the theme of most of them goes in there's several themes to these words. Some of them were more of the, this is not, like, oh crap, basically, or more, there were a bunch that were about the time frame, like already or fast, things like that. And then there were some, that weren't surprise. Let's see here. Let me go through and I'm going to randomly pick some out and say what they are. All right. So let's see. You got excitement. A couple people wrote sigh, panic, dismay, hype. All in one word with no spaces. Are you effing kidding me? I don't know if that counts as one word, but way to get it in there. Meh, unbelief. I mean,
there are.
It spans
few,
everything here. It's like they're all over the place.
There's relief. There's disappointed, confused, excitement, amazed.
Game time.
Yeah, there's a lot of responses. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and go on to
Question 2.
All right, question 2. So, moving on with the same topic
Theme.
here, same theme. That's the word. Thank you. Do you believe that you will be able to unlock Jedi Revan on the event's first iteration? Now, I put a lot of answers in here because people have said that I don't give enough options for answers to cover what everyone is feeling with these things. So I tried to put as many in here as I could to give people an option for what they were going to say. So let me just tell you what the options were. Starting from top to bottom, the options were: yes, I am ready now. Yes, I'm close now, so should be there by the end of the event. Probably not, but I'm going to give my best attempt. Probably not, so I'm working now towards a second iteration. No chance, I'll work on it when I can. And no, I'm focused on other things. We'll focus on this when and if I decide to. So,
Dan, you did not give enough options because my answer would have been no chance, but I'm working on it for the second iteration. It's not a probably not. It's a definite no. So that's my only. Yeah.
I could, everything the same but one word. My bad.
Yeah. But the probably not, so I'm working on it now for the second iteration, was a huge portion of the pie, 38%. I did not find that surprising at all.
That's where I fall for the most part. So.
Yeah. So if you look at the two portions that will be getting him, it was basically 17.5% of people between the yes, I am ready now, and yes, I'm close now, so should be there by the end of the event. So,
not a big percentage.
Yeah, not a big percentage. Much lower than it was on the Chewbacca event. Obviously, not surprised. And then over half the pie was people saying probably not, and then another 30% that said basically no chance.
It's kind of surprising that 8% of people aren't even worried about Revan. They don't even want. They've got other priorities, and they're not even going for it right now. So that was interesting to me.
Well, I mean,
but there's always people, and it's. But the thing is, there's always people that don't chase everything that comes out either. So it's not surprising, but those are the numbers there.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are still working on, Old Ben or RJT or whatever else. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff to work on depending on where you're at in the game. And, both the previous Heroes type characters have been unbelievably good. So I would think we can probably expect that from Revan. And, I mean...
Yeah, that's the other thing with all of this. We only know how to get him. No one's seen how good he is or what his kit is.
Yeah.
We can only assume and speculate that being a journey character, he's probably going to be pretty dang good, especially when it's that hard to get him. So...
Yeah, you would think. We'll see.
We shall see.
Question 3.
Question 3 basically was a repeat of last week's question, but given a week, farming and kind of seeing where the shard distribution for you RNG wise was, we went back to with a week from the last poll and new information on the event, which characters are the troublemakers for this event for you? Now I gave all 5 characters as an answer you could pick, and I made this a checkbox so you could pick more than one. But I also gave 3 more answers to cover some answers that people told me they wish were on this last week, which was all, none, I'm not farming them, and none, I have them ready. So kind of covers everyone here. But the same answer was, after a week, was the same. People having a little more trouble with those shards than you are, but Mission Vow, 138 out of 232 people, 59%. That is just the toughest one.
I found that surprising. I figured Zalbar would be more difficult given that he's hard node only. I know we get 8 attempts and he's on 2 different hard nodes, but still, I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, for sure. It's my only thing I can think of is that people went, 3 refreshes in fleet, 3 refreshes in normal energy, and went hard after the other 2 before Zalbar came out and might have more energy to spend on Zalbar now, since the other 2 were out longer. That would be the only reason I would think. But yeah, Zalbar was number 2 with 99 out of 232, so 42%.
Cool.
37% for T3, 23% for Jolie Bindo, and then this one. It's not surprising, but the number being this low for this amount of people. 6 people or 2% said Basilishan. So a lot of people have really been farming that Basilishan from crystal shipments before she was farmable and everything else because they're just not worried about that one. And it's not surprised because she was a really good character and a lot of people use her in arena. So, but 2% Basilishan. So a lot of people like you that have her at 7 stars already and are not worried about her. So.
Or are within striking distance. Because, yeah, she's been a great character since she came out.
Sure.
I mean, that leader ability is just so awesome. Alongside that Grandmaster Yoda rework, I mean, yeah, pretty much everybody kind of went with her just because it's really good, fun, and kind of brought the Jedi back. So,
my answer, knowing that it's only a week until the event starts, I put all because none of mine are at 7 star, and all of them are at least 100 shards away. So it's just going to be nightmare scenario for me to ever even try to get there right now. So 59 people out of 232, 25% said all of them. I'm with you, people. I understand where you're at with that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
cool.
5% said they're not farming. 3% said they have them ready. So interesting makeup between all of those.
Indeed.
Indubitably. What's that
Question 4.
Question 4. Okay, so the next question I had was about timing of the event, right? So, all right, a lot of us have given into the fact that, hey, I'm probably not going to get her on the first time, him on the first time around. What do we think is the odds or the time frame that this event is going to come back? So I put in there, let's see, 5 answers: 2 months or less, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 or more months. Just trying to get an idea of what people think is going to be the time frame. Now I wrote in there not what you want, because if it was what I want, I'd say 2 months or less. But what you realistically think it will be. So, what do you see in these results here?
Well, I wasn't too surprised with the breakdown of the results. There were 7% of people said 2 months or less. 29% said 3 months. 34% said 4 months. 6.5% said 5 months. And the final 24% said 6 or more months. I fall into the 3-month category. I think we'll see him back around Christmas time. Just because I feel like, CLS came out around this time. Was it last year? I believe it was last year. Yeah. And,
wait, CLS?
Was it longer than that ago?
Yeah, because last year was RJT.
No, it was last year. Yes.
CLS came out last year?
RJT was last December, and I think CLS was like September. And then he ended up coming back around Christmas as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them do that exact same thing this time. So, we'll see. Oh, Fyrus says Luke came out in August. Wow.
Yes, that's right. Taking back August.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Well, so that was closer to 5 months. Dang. Well, that's kind of a bummer. If I remember correctly, RJT came out in December and then came back around March. So it was about 3-4 months.
It was about 4 months for both of them from everything I've seen. Or the breakdown people have done. So I think the easiest way to assume is 4 months from now he will come back.
Well, that's a bummer.
Unless they make it longer.
Oh, don't do that. Please. Like, if
I
y'all
don't-
listen, please, God, don't make it longer than 4
We're going
months.
realistic here, okay? I'm just saying. I don't want that to happen, but that could be the realistic way it happens.
If I knew it was going to be longer than 4 months, I would wail.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. We'll just keep moving on with the poll. 2 months.
Zane, hold on. Zane says that CLS returned after 140 days. So, that's what, a little over 4 months.
Yep.
4.3 months, roughly.
Drew,
Cool.
also with the knowledge there, Legendary Palpatine was the longest wait, and I remember waiting for him because I did not get him 7-star his first time around, and I remember sitting waiting to get him at 7-star forever. And it's that 6 months is a long time. Long wait. It feels like forever. Because 6 months from now, the game will totally be different. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there will be lots of things that happen in the next 6 months before, if it was to take that long, by that time we might have 2 metas already passed, I would say with the way the Sith meta's gone this year, that might not be the case. So we might just sit on a Revan meta for 6 months if it took 6 months and everyone hate it. And by the time they got him, not want to run it anymore. I don't know. But it's just, that is a long time. I'm really hoping at the most it's that 4 months, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Question number 5.
All right, last question. For a new player, who do you think is the easiest journey character to go after first? CLS was an answer. Jedi Training Rey was an answer. And I put Jedi Revan on there just for consistency. I did not expect people to pick him because, holy cow, there's no way he's the easiest journey character for a new player. But he's on there. And I will say this, that 16 people said he was the easiest. So to all 16 of you, thank you for doing that. I want to know if you believe it or not. That's hilarious. But 85% of people said Commander Luke Skywalker is the easiest journey character to achieve for a new player, followed by Jedi Training Rey, who got 18 votes, 2 more than Revan, as the second easier.
Interesting.
And
Crazy.
I don't know... We'll get into this a little later, but I don't know that that's... it is probably true. But I don't think that RJT is as hard as people make it out. So, but we'll talk about
that. I agree. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But, I mean, you basically need a team of 5 of First Order and then some Resistance characters, basically. It's not too bad. Not much different than CLS, other than... he requires the 5 Empire to get R2, obviously. And that's something else that's interesting. This is the first, journey type character in which does not require an already existing legendary character. So that's a little bit interesting as well.
That is interesting. Kind of breaks the
mold
pattern. So
indeed.
For all of us thinking that they would have to release C-3PO for a Jedi Luke, that's not necessarily true.
Indeed.
Or you might not even need Chewbacca. You might not need that legendary character. So for those of you that did not get Chewbacca, have heart. If they did release Jedi Luke, let's say in December,
they would have
not
to
need
return
Chewbacca.
first.
Yeah, exactly. And they would have him return. So
I mean, it's Jedi Revan, right? Why not bring in a Jedi Luke? Give Jedi the meta for the next year. Sith have had it since freaking February.
It's been a while. It has been a while.
All right, time to move on. Next thing.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
Update! There was some moderately exciting stuff and then some more exciting stuff, I guess. Sith Fighter is now farmable. Fleet Hard Node 3E. So, I'm busy farming other crap. I'm never going to get to it.
You cut out in some pretty terrible parts there because I'm like, what is he saying? So everyone watching on Twitch will hear the cutout parts like I did. I'm like, what?
Wonderful. Yeah. Those of you listening on iTunes or whatever heard everything I said, but, you know, my
You wanted me
internet
to
is
shut up.
so wonderful.
The Sith Fighter is farmable. You know what? For all those people that are focused on TB and have the extra energy, they are loving this because holy smokes, Sith Fighter seems to show up all over platoons from 3 to 6 when you get there in both sides, dark and light side territory battles. So have a few people in your guild start farming that if they don't care about the other things.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because there's
point.
always at least one that no one realized Sith Fighter's in there, and you go 14 out of 15, and you're like, why did you guys fill this up? We cannot finish it. So.
Indeed. The other thing was they fixed the Heroic Sith Triumvirate Raid Phase 1 bug. The Darth Nihilus copying the negative status effects with Annihilate. So you won't be
basically you can't
zombie speed
solo,
and not moving.
Yeah, you can't solo Phase 1 anymore with that bug.
Well, with that bug, yes. You might still be able to solo it. I haven't seen it, but you never know. I mean,
he's not gonna hit.
never.
Revan's not, or not Revan. Gosh, now I got him on my head. Nihilus is not going to copy Zombie's 0 speed when he annihilates him anymore. So
yeah,
the
nice.
days of him not taking another turn are over.
The other thing that kind of came out were some packs because you got to be able to spend the dollars to get your Revan. Your Revan. So they released 2 packs that cost $30. One of them is 50 shards of Jolie and 50 shards of Basilisk Shan, and the other is 50 shards of Mission Vow and 50 shards of Zalbar. Both of them at $30. I feel like the Mission Vow and Zalbar one is way better value, but you know, that's just me. If you need it, you need it. I did the math on the shards, and if you were to spend $30 in crystals by a $20 pack and $10 pack, it would essentially be the equivalent of getting them at 41 crystals per shard, which isn't too bad. It's not great value, but it's not too bad.
So what's the crystal to shard ratio for crystal shipments?
For crystal shipments? Oh, like, yeah, I gotcha.
Normal shipment
80.
store.
Yeah, 80 shards per, or 80 crystals per
shard.
shard.
So basically
Yes.
cuts it in half.
Yep, it does.
Gotcha.
Indeed. The other thing was there is 50 shards of T3 for $15, basically the same price, just different pack. And then they have one pack that is 699 crystals. This is a bargain.
Also known as the
slot machine.
Slot machine.
Yeah. I need a slot machine sounder. Oh.
Ching ching.
I'm so gonna have that next week. You have a chance at one of the 5 Old Republic characters and 10 shards minimum. So even at the minimum, you're at 69.9 crystals per shard. So if you need all the characters, it's probably a pretty good bargain. If you have some completed, not so much. But you can get up to 330 shards. You could finish a character with 699 crystals. Don't count on it.
Yeah. But I will say this. I have heard at least 7 people saying they've gotten multiple 50 drops on this. Now, I'm not saying go and buy this pack. I don't want to tell you to do it or don't do it. I'm just saying I have heard good things. And as Wink said, the value crystal to shard ratio is pretty decent. So if you are behind and you want to try it, buy 3 or 4 of them, and after that, see how you feel. I don't know. But this is one thing that this is okay. This is how I look at this pack. This is okay. I went out, hung out with my friends all night, came home, a little tipsy, and I decided, you know what? Why not give it a try for a little bit? And then wound up with 7-star characters. You know, this is the pack that would do it in one go.
That's true.
Now, it might cost a bunch. I say might. Probably would, but you know.
Dude, that's what I should do. I should spend a vault and just start buying these packs like crazy and see if I can get Revan.
You say that. Never mind. Never mind. Anyways, on to the next.
I say that, but we all know. I am looking for something to play for this. I guess we'll go with this again. Because it's been stormy around the community over this. I mean,
yeah. Oof. I have my happy face on today.
Yeah.
Because I've been drinking.
Well, thank God. So start us off. Tell everyone about this whole Revan event situation.
Okay, so basically gave a breakdown of who Revan was, talking about the event and what it is. I wanted to read it because it's kind of cool. Actually, let me say this before we even go into this. I want to say this because I didn't bring it up. It's not in our notes. We're not going to talk about it. But lost in all this announcement about the Jedi Revan event was a post that they posted on the forums that I absolutely love and wish that they would do more of. I don't know if you read it, but it was the Making of Revan post.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Where they showed kind of like the development of the character as they drew it and draw it out, along with some questions or answers from the different developers that worked on the different parts of it. And just the post was really, really cool. And if you haven't read it, because Revan information, let's talk about that. But if you haven't read it, go check out that post. It's really cool. It seems like they put a lot of thought and work into putting that together to show people. And it's just a nice inside look at what it takes and what they do to build a character. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out.
Indeed.
It's very cool. Now,
I
back
agree.
to the sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just concurring. I agree. You may proceed, sir.
All right, so as far as the event goes, have you heard the tale of the hero who led the Jedi to victory against the Mandalorians in the Ancient War?
Ooh, I haven't.
No, neither have I. How the savior of the Republic faced down the armies of Mandalore and took their leader's mask. Or perhaps
Sounds
the story
impressive.
of a great fall and a return to the light. Learn all about one of the great mysteries and myths of the Old Republic. Prepare to follow the journey of Jedi Knight Revan.
Ooh.
Jedi Knight Revan.
Sounds very exciting. I'm not going to lie.
I think we can assume he's going to have the Jedi tag. That's just a guess. But
yes. And there's already a really good Jedi leader out there, so if you Zeta Bastila Shan, I mean, he would probably fit right in that team.
For sure. So, the event starts on October 18th. So, today is October 11th when we record this. It's probably October 13th or 14th when you're listening this, because I think most people, a lot of people listen to it on their drives to work. So, but October 18th, 1 week from today, the event comes out. So, you got a week to farm shards. Then we don't know how long the event is because they did not say. So, 1 week. Other heroic journeys have been 1 week long. So you got to think, you probably got 2 weeks to get the shards you need at this point. So that's a lot of shards in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's normal farming methods are probably not going to be enough if you've just been farming them off of, if you didn't do any refreshes every day, gonna be almost impossible. If you've been doing 1, probably still impossible. 2, probably still impossible. It's just, there's a lot of shards that are needed for this. And with Vow, Zalbar, and T3 only becoming farmable about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, There's just everyone's behind here, unless that you bought the marquee packs, which, you know, in a lot of cases, people wait till they go to crystal shipments or wait till they're in. Well, I can't say that. I don't know anyone that waits for chromiums to get characters, but crystal shipments and when they become farmable, a lot of people do that. So if that was the way you went, they haven't been in there a long time, so there's a lot of shards to make up here. But I think that if we can look at the packs, we can take a guess as to when the event will end, because if you look at the packs are available for, when I wrote the notes, they were available for 13 days and like 8 hours. Meaning 2 weeks from today is when the packs go away. So if I were to put on my thinking hat, I don't know, pulling raisins from the dirt here. But if I put on my thinking hat, I would think that this event will probably end a week after it starts. So from today, I think you have 2 weeks to farm shards, as well as gear up characters and be able to beat the event. So
indeed.
Not looking good for most of us.
Very grim outlook,
I don't know that I can speak for everyone, but I think I could speak for probably 80% of people are not going to be ready for this. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree. I think if I was like a vault away, I think I would go all in, but I'll be honest, I like mod salvage too much, and I've been spending 450 crystals a day on mod salvage. So, you know, I can only blame myself for not being ready. But I do wish I would have done a different strategy. I think I could have been pretty damn close, and it's kind of a bummer.
I don't think anyone could have guessed that this was coming this soon after they dropped. Now, we've seen a similar thing happen with Phoenix when Thrawn came out. But with the Phoenix, everyone was in a different place, using different energies and shipment costs and everything else. So it was easier to farm them all at the same time. And some of those shipments were really easy to farm. Plus, there were 6 of them instead of 5. It was just a little bit different, you know what I mean? So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Needs a 7-star Bastila Shan, Jolie Bindo, Mission Val, Zalbar, and T3M4. So there's only 5 available. 3 of them are on a hard node and a fleet hard node. 2 of them are on Cantina. So you literally have to farm 2 of them from one place at the same time and 3 from the other place at the same time.
It's a bummer they couldn't have at least put like Zalbar or Mission Vow in like fleet shipment or guild shipment or something. That, you know, those aren't places that they're shut off to ever adding anyone else. It would be really great if they would have added one of them there.
You have characters that aren't Hermit Yoda and Wampa in guild event currency. I'm surprised we've not seen in any characters that have come out anyone else been added to that store.
So this is the kind of interesting thing. I mean, Revan has been like one of the most wanted characters in SWGOH. Outside of Jedi Luke, probably the most wanted character. And he gets completely announced before the Road Ahead post. The Road Ahead post is going to have nothing to do with Revan. And the Road Ahead post always
that'll
has
be the road behind
stuff.
At that point. So
maybe. I mean, we don't know what's on it, but I mean, the fact that they're already rolling out a Jedi Revan and then they're talking about the Road Ahead that we haven't even got it yet. So I suspect the time is counting down before we get it, and I have my fingers crossed because, like I said, there's always something really good. We always get some sort of announcement with it. If they would have made Jedi Revan the main part of the Road Ahead, people would have lost their minds. They would have been so happy. But it's like, well, here's Jedi Revan. This is like a prequel to the Road Ahead. So if you're pissed off
Alright.
about the Revan thing, just remember there's probably something that might be bigger, more exciting, or, you know, more stuff that is coming. You know, it's not like this is the big thing for the quarter. Like, there's more coming. So, be on alert, be paying attention, and, you know, saving. I still think saving currency and crystal and stuff is not a bad idea.
So, let me just say, okay, so we'll keep going through this for a second, but there were no mentions of double drops in the post. So unless they put out some random post within the next 7 days saying, hey, we're getting double drops on this day for this long or whatever, right now there's no double drops in preparation for this. So that's one thing that's also been different about the last few. So that kind of, I know people would go all in on those double drops if they were there. So maybe they'll, you know, drop that. Who knows? But right now it's not a thing. So that was interesting that wasn't in there. But yeah, let's talk about our thoughts. You want to think or thoughts here?
Real quick,
you have a little table here in the notes so we didn't talk about.
I do. I have a little table that I made that I made this specifically for Zalbar just because I was kind of curious exactly how, you know, the cost per shard actually breaks down as far as where you're farming him, since you can farm him as a 16 regular energy node and a 20 energy fleet node. This kind of indicates the crystals per shard depending on where you farm it and the order in which you should, you know, node refresh to be the most efficient. So obviously you should do the free regular first before you do the free fleet. Now, the free regular energy is obviously the most efficient. If you do a 25 crystal node refresh on regular energy, this is accounting for the energy spent to refresh your actual energy as well. A second regular energy usage is more efficient than fleet energy. You know, your first set of fleet energy is the third most efficient way to get Zalbar shards. And then after that, a 50 crystal node refresh of regular energy. And then after that, you get into a 25 crystal node refresh in the fleet. And then, of course, your fleet and regular energy 50 crystal refreshes with 100 energy would be the same. So it kind of depends on how your energy breaks down. I have 2 spots in here at the 50 crystal node refresh on, you know, for regular energy, comparing it with if you're having to spend 100 crystals for energy versus 50 crystals for energy, just because, you know, people may be farming different things. But if you are going to, if you are going to be spending the 50 crystal, if it costs you 50 crystal node refresh and 100 energy or 100 crystal energy refresh, you are better off just buying them from the shipments based on crystals per shard, because crystals per shard in the shipments is 80 crystals. If you're spending the 50 energy node refresh plus the 100 crystals on energy, you're over that. You're at 100 crystals per shard. God, I hope that made sense.
I was about to say, if you could not follow all of that,
there will be a table on the site, so you can go check that out.
I'll check the site. We'll put it in the resources on the Discord, and then you can find it there. It'll basically break down, you know, like Wink just did, where the best use of your refreshes are as you continue down your farming. So there you go.
Indeed.
Very nice.
All right, so now we can move on to our thoughts. Ugh. Who wants to go first? Because we're not on the same page on this one.
I feel that if I go first, or if you go first and then I go, you're just gonna go again. So I should probably go first so you can disagree with me and then give your thoughts.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so my thoughts are this, and I'm gonna try to be realistic and thoughtful here and not be completely angry about my own feelings on this.
Sure.
So we've talked about this on every podcast since Bastila Shan and Jolie came out, how I've been doing 1 and 2 refreshes on them every single day, not farming gear at all, using every bit of energy that I have on those 2 characters. Come the announcement day, I am barely at 6 stars on those 2. Not to mention, on top of that, spending refreshes now on Zalbar and only getting him to 5 stars. Is he at 5 stars? He's not even at 5 stars. Just getting him to 4 stars. I'm 0 out of 30 on mission. Haven't even gotten to her yet because I've been pouring all that energy into T3 with the 3 Cantina energy refreshes a day. The only way that this could have gone better for me is if I had hundreds or $100 of crystals just saved up, which I didn't because I used all my crystals to buy gear for bounty hunters for Chewbacca, so I had no crystals left. If I had all those crystals to spend on shards in the shipment store, I could supplement that and make it go a little faster, but you know, I got to buy more shards to make that happen at this point. Basically what I'm saying is I've spent some money on this. Like, it's not like I am doing this the free-to-play way. I've been buying $20 crystal packs at least twice a month. I bought a whole bunch of crystals to gear up Bastila and Jolie. Like, I'm not doing this free-to-play. I can't imagine where you're at if you're doing it free-to-play. I've spent money, but the part that bugs me is that I've spent money and I still have 0 chance. Like, there is 0 chance to get this character. That in the month and a half I've been farming Bastila and Jolie, I feel I could have geared at least 2 teams to gear 12 for Territory Wars and still been missing this event the way I am now. But instead, I'm missing it after spending a month and a half trying to not miss it. So it's I don't know. It's just it just feels like you had to have bought the characters from the marquee packs up to 7 stars to this was aimed at those people that bought those marquee characters to 7 stars when they came out, not to people that are waiting for them to go to crystal shipments or waiting for them to be free to play. Let me say this. I don't think this character was meant for free to play. I don't think it was ever a chance for free to play. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, I know a lot of free-to-play listeners here will, and I understand your frustration. But at some point, they were going to make a character that you had to pay to get. I just did not expect that character that you had to pay to get to have to cost 4 months of 4 months of car payments. You know, it's rough. Now, talking about money doesn't matter. If you want to spend money on the game, I'm totally fine with that. And I don't care what anyone spends. 0, your whole paycheck. It doesn't matter. If you can do it, totally fine. It's just rough to know that you do spend and you still have no chance. You know what I'm saying? So that is my frustration with this. I don't know. So
that one as bad as I was expecting.
like I said, I am censoring myself to try to see both sides, but it's just a little. It's just a little annoying knowing that I could have 2 more Gear 12 teams and be 80 shards behind on a couple characters than where I'm at, and not making it. So
yeah.
You know,
so I totally get it. I do. it does make sense. However, I don't remember exactly when these characters. Can you pull up the forums and see exactly when these characters came to be available?
I can go look.
I know Basilishan's been available a lot longer than T3 Mission Vow and Zalbar. However, there are a lot of people that are really up in arms, and to be perfectly honest, I don't really mind this at all. Like, do I wish that we had more time to where there was a realistic chance of me getting him? Yeah. Did they make it pretty clear that they were going to do a legendary and then a heroes like event? Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. There is zero shock factor in the fact that it is coming when it does. I mean, I wish I could get him, but I don't. I rarely spend money on the game. I'm cheap and I have fun just trying to do things by being efficient with my crystals. Like, that's part of what I enjoy about the game. And I totally get why people want Revan. He's a very beloved character. Everybody wants him, especially all the KOTOR people. I want him, and I've never even played KOTOR. So just the hype and the excitement around him, I'm pretty pumped. But I don't really mind them making a character that is expected to be unbelievably good, making him pretty much free to play. We've had this. I remember back when. Yeah, that's what I meant. I remember the days, and this could have something to do with it. I remember the days of you couldn't get Rex unless you were Chromium, and having to fight that bastard in arena. Oh my god, it was awful. And
that is a very good point that I had not thought about.
We don't have that anymore. There's not the wedge being locked behind. What were those packs called? They weren't
the same
Chromiums.
One Rex was in, Erodiums.
Erodiums, that's what it was. We used to have characters locked behind that. They were completely locked behind a paywall in which you had to spend several $100s to even get the character half usable. We get every character in this game now at 3-star. And this is really the first character that we have had in a very long time that you really kind of almost have to pay to even get. And to be perfectly honest, I have no issue with it whatsoever. I guess because I've been playing as long as I have, I'm used to games in which there's always pay to play that has such a big advantage. And for the last year, pay to play hasn't had much of an advantage at all outside of.
But it's not pay to play. That's my issue here. You keep saying that, but it's not. It's literally the upper end of pay to play. Not everyone that pays to play is going to get this character.
It depends on what you consider pay to play.
Okay, well, if I'm paying money, I consider myself paying
there
to
are,
play.
Of course, degrees. I mean, people who spend $20 a month that they pay to play, like, they're not getting this character, but
right. But if you're spending $100 a month, is that not pay to play? If you're spending $200 a month, is that not pay to play? I guarantee. I'm willing to guess if you're paying $200 a month to play this game, you're probably still not unlocking this character. And that's a good chunk of money to put into a game where you can unlock a character that's supposed to be pay to play, or not supposed to be, but we consider it that. And you can't. I
have want to pre-apologize for what I'm about to say, but if you're spending $200 a month on this game and you're not getting Revan, one, you're either not very far into the game, or two, you suck at resource management. I mean, $200 a month, you should be able to get him. I mean,
unless you went after solo characters instead of KOTOR because you thought that the characters were going to be needed in December and not October. I mean, I'm not going to call people bad because they make a decision based on zero information. You know.
Well,
it's
given the situation, that's still it's bad management. I mean,
oh, I can't wait to hear about that this week.
Oh, believe me, I've been on Reddit a lot this week. I've said a lot of things that piss people off. I don't care.
It's great PR, by the way.
That's-
Thank you.
Yeah, I do what I can. I'm not the public relations guy. It's not
No,
my
that's
territory.
why I always say stop talking on Reddit, please.
I know. Yeah, every time I get on Reddit, Dan's like, "Shut up."
Stop talking. Just stop.
I've been a lot more diplomatic lately. Thank you very much.
Well, you did turn a troll into a possible listener. And if he's listening, thanks for listening. Sorry, I don't feel that you are a troll anymore. I saw your side of the argument.
And I mean, there are different point of views on, what I'll say this. What CG Carey told us was true from a certain point of view. I just don't have an issue with them almost kind of requiring people to pay for a character when there really hasn't been one in a while. I'm not that up in arms about it. I'm really not. And honestly, because of the way everyone else feels, I've been trying to make myself feel that way, and I don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling on a little bit here, but I'm really curious to see what everyone else thinks and
By the
how
way,
many
I
people.
cannot find when Bastila and Jolie went farmable in these updates. I mean, I probably keep clicking around it, but I can't find it. I do know that T3 Zalbar and Mission went farmable on the 26th of September, but I cannot find the other two. So
Okay, those were the main two. So say that one more time.
T3 Zalbar and Mission went farmable on the 26th of September.
26th of September, and we are currently on the 12th of October. All right. I want to do
2 weeks. Basically 2 weeks.
Yeah, you said. Yeah, basically 2 weeks. We'll say
2 weeks and a day.
What is it? 18 days, basically. I think 12 and 16. We'll say 16 days. So if you take 16 days, and let's say you do the 100 crystal refreshes, that's 360 energy plus the 360 energy plus the 120 plus the 45. If you get all that, that's 525 energy per day times the 16 days. That's 8,400 energy. Let's say if you spent all that on Mission Vow, that would be 525 attempts times the 33% drop rate. That is 175 shards.
525 attempts?
Yes.
In how many days?
16 days.
Gotcha.
So, and that is all 100 crystal refreshes. That would get you 175 shards. And that's only for Mission Vow. I will say, that changed my opinion a little bit, maybe. Not a ton, though.
Okay. Let me.
I'm not surprised.
Let me play psychiatrist. Let me play psychiatrist here. Wink, you like to be on the opposite of everything. That's how I feel. So even if I liked it, you probably wouldn't like it. That's how I feel.
No, that's not true.
No,
I feel like I'm more in the middle.
Most
generally.
people don't like this, so you want to go on the other side. It's
that is
fine.
true. I am on the other side of most people 100%. Yes.
Most of the time, yes, exactly. That's my point.
But, well, I wouldn't say most of the time. Certainly in this situation.
Okay, at least most of the time with me. How's that?
And I guess the problem is whenever you talk about the people that are spending a couple $100 a month on the game, like, what is the point at which somebody should be able to get these characters? What price range is it?
I hate this. I don't. Yeah,
I think that's certainly a debate. Like I said, I haven't actually done the math on that to see exactly where you would be, and it depends on where you finish in arena, how many free crystals you're getting per day, and all that sort of stuff.
That is another thing to throw into the idea that you don't have to be a Kraken to unlock the character. if you're finishing 1 on both arenas or 1 in one and even getting top 50 in the other one, that's a lot of crystals that you're not having to buy. So if you're only spending $100 a month, you know, and you have all those extra crystals from that, if you did not have that, like a lot of people in the game, then, you know, and a lot of people would say if you're not getting in the top of the arena, you're not playing whatever.
And
what? That's not true.
I think
because a lot of people just don't focus on the arena and are really good in raids or really good in territory battles or whatever. People have different focuses, but the problem for those people is you don't get as many crystals from those things as you do from arena and fleet. So if you're good at those things, you're always going to have a one-up on everyone else.
I want to sum up the way I feel entirely right here. So I'm not a. I think the primary issue that I have seen is that there is a lot of free-to-play characters or free-to-play or low-spending players that are upset that they're not getting Revan because it's a character they love. Those people I don't particularly feel bad for. I don't care. No sympathy. Sorry. The people I have seen people arguing for, like, the mid-spenders, the people that do spend quite a bit that aren't like total freaking Krakens. And those people that aren't getting them, those people I feel a lot more sorry for. That part does kind of suck. I mean, if you are spending a couple $100 a month and you're not getting him, that sucks. And
feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I mean, I think if you're a free-to-play person, you shouldn't be getting upset that you're not getting Revan. Like,
free-to-play, I'm with you there for sure. It's. I think that we got it a little easier with the other two than this one off.
Yeah, I agree.
Give me 1 second.
Uh-oh, I think we're having tech issues.
My microphone has stopped working. Can you hear me? You
yeah, it's probably freaking GarageBand again, ain't it?
I don't know what's going on with my GarageBand. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, this is wonderful radio.
Ah, I see. My headphones died. Okay, 2 seconds. Let me get the headphones back.
Dan is not good at charging his headphones before we podcast. Yeah. All right, so
Wink, just entertain the people. All right, maybe do a song, maybe a dance, and I'll be back. And if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Okay. I do think that the way this was gone about's a lot different than any other event. I think you're gonna be fine. You'll get Revan. If you start working on him, you're gonna be perfectly fine. This is the most pay-to-play character we've had since they probably got rid of Erodiums. I mean, RJT, we had plenty of time to farm the veterans for. I mean, anyone who even thought there was a relative chance that the veterans would be used for something, those people had a chance to get RJT. When CLS came out, like, most people that had been playing for very long were ready for CLS. And so I guess because of that, I'm not terribly surprised. I don't know. It has definitely been controversial, and you know,
all right,
we'll see.
So
I know I am just farming away, and I will damn sure get him the second time he comes up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So my final thought is this. I was mad at first. Maybe not because of the free-to-play stuff or any of that. More of the fact that I spent so much time on these characters, a lot of my energy, a lot of my crystals on refreshes.
Oh yeah, so did I.
On refreshes and node refreshes, everything. Just a lot of crystals, and I'm no closer than I would. Well, I'm closer, but not close enough to get him than I would have been if I just did one refresh every day for the past month and a half and spent all my energy on gearing up other things. So that kind of sucks. But I didn't have a headset, so I couldn't interrupt you. So I'm going to keep going. But
it was nice.
Yeah, I know, I'm sure. But I say this. Once I start thinking about it, I'm not as mad. It'll come back. I don't guarantee, but I'm willing to guess that if it took 6 months to come back, in that 6 months, something else is going to come out. Whether it's free to play, whether it's a new territory battle with a new character in there, something's going to happen that we're all going to be able to work towards to fight Revan if he became some kind of meta monster. Or let's think of it this way. What if Revan becomes the 6th person that can get first place and you can keep your Traya in there and be fine? You know, we don't know what... We only know that the character's probably going to be really good. But we don't know that they're going to be unbeatable. You know what I mean? So...
That's definitely true. That's a good point.
That's where I'm at. If I don't get him this time, I've come to grips with the fact that there will probably still be teams that can beat him, and there are... That's the way it's been, right? Kind of this back and forth of people with different teams that can still fight at the top of arena. So I'm banking on being able to still fight at the top of the arena if I don't get him. And then I'll get him the next time around. I've resolved to that fact, and I feel a lot better about it just saying, hey, I don't know what's coming, but I'm sure that they'll put other things in the game besides him that will be available for arena or for other things to focus on and not worry about it so much. You know what I mean? So
here's the big question. What would you spend to get Revan? What's the number
to get Revan?
If you knew you could spend blank
like right now
to get Revan. Yes.
Right now? Okay, so I spent a good chunk on Nest. I would definitely spend that good chunk again. Right now.
What was that? 150?
It was more like it's a marquee character, so let's say $300.
Okay. If you knew that you would get Revan for $300, you would do it.
Yes. I would.
I think that's a little further north than what I would spend for, like, I think $150 to $200. I'll be honest, just in general, I'm kind of a tightwad, but
let me preface it with something.
I think at that price, I would probably go in, and that's the thing that I wonder about is how many people are in that sort of range that would be all in and jump into it that are missing out on this. That's my big question. And I'm certain that CG definitely has people that they're pretty good with numbers. They know what the hell they're doing. And so they picked this number. I mean, they picked this time for a reason, and I can't help but wonder. I know there are a lot of people that are in the same boat as you. They would spend $300 to $500 if they knew they could get it.
That is why I say that they must have. I don't know anything about logistics and numbers and cranking it, because my belief in economics is that if you lower the price, more people buy, and you might end up with more money. But I don't know that that's true. That's just always been my belief. Like, if you put something at $100, more people would buy it than if you had it at $500. Then less people would buy it. You know what I mean? But I don't know where that line equals out, and I don't know how all that stuff goes. So guaranteed that they have people working there, that's their entire job, and that's what they've done their entire working adult life. So I can't pretend to know more than those people, but I can pretend to know what I want to spend and what I feel like in a game is fair. But
yeah,
you know,
it's
and
not
I think
the same.
It's not the same for everyone. So that's the other thing. What's
and
important to me is not the same to everyone else.
The data that they get doesn't necessarily always show what somebody would spend to get that character. So it's probably important to throw that out to some degree. And like I said, I think there are probably a ton of people in that, especially KOTOR fans, that are in that $300 to $400 range. That if that's what it was, they would probably say, "All right, I'm in. That's a car payment. I'm down," and go for it. But I don't know. It's probably hard to balance, and there's RNG, and even if you're close, you could get totally screwed.
That would be the worst. That would be the worst. Let's say you end up getting them all to 7 stars, because this is something we haven't even mentioned. You spend all that to get them to 7 stars, but now you got to gear them too. And if it ends up as hard as the Chewie event somehow, you're going to need them at high gear level, right, too? And that would just be totally devastating if you had them all at like gear 9 and could not beat it, and you had to wait 6 months or 4 months or whatever. That would just be tough. Real tough.
I need you to do something. I need you to go back, and I need you to tell me where you're at shard-wise on every character.
All right, hold on. All right, so I'm 84 on 84 out of 85 on Bastila, 82 out of 85 on Jolie.
Okay.
53 out of 65 on T3, 0 out of 30 on Mission, and 15 out of 65 on Zalbar.
Okay. Tell me where you were at on Mission one more time.
0 out of 30. That's a 0 goose egg.
Woo. That ain't good.
No, it is not.
You're 0 out of 30, and where were you at on Zalbar?
12 out of 65.
You were 12 out of 65. Alrighty. So I am at SWGOH.life using their panic calculator. I punched all this in, and all right. So for you to actually, this is very wrong. I don't know why it says the event ends in 37 days. Their calculator is screwed up. Oh, until the event starts. It starts in 7 days. So let's see if you should panic. All right. It would require, according to their
maths,
45,500 crystals.
How much is in a vault?
15,700.
So that's 2.5.
That's less than 3. That is less than 3 volts.
Well, that's also less than $300.
That is less than $300.
I would think about it if I didn't think that they were going to require Chewbacca level gear, and that's how many more volts is that?
I don't think they will. Both of the previous Heroes type events took pretty moderately geared,
so did
like
all the
pretty
legendaries.
Moderate to lower gears. No, they've
So
been
did
way
all the
less than
legendaries.
legendary. They've been way less than legendary.
I don't think you can bank on that.
I think you should call your accountant, see if it's a tax write-off, and if it is,
you?
go balls
Were you my
deep.
accountant? Because I'm gonna.
If
call
I'm
you.
your accountant, I'm gonna tell you yes, but I'm
Are
also
you?
not an attorney.
Because that's the answer I want, so I'm just gonna call you. And then when my wife's nagging me, then I'm gonna have her call you.
Yeah.
Is that okay as well?
No, I don't want to hear from your wife. I'll be honest.
Okay. Well.
I don't want not about your SWGOH addictions. So that's assuming the event ends in 14 days. You need to farm 70.7 shards per day. It is possible probably for 3 volts. And you know what's interesting about that?
Is that doing refreshes or buying the crystals from shipments?
It depends on the character. For Zalbar, you'd need to buy 5 shards per day from shipments. And for Mission and T3, you would have to purchase 4 shipments of 4 shards per day. So.
Gotcha. Because I had the thought in my head, if I did decide, to do what I did with Nest and just go full whale on this, that I would do it out of shipments, because those are guaranteed. I would know the price going in. I wouldn't have to worry as much about RNG, but I could use that to leverage the other part of it to cut down the end cost. But I'm a man with 4 kids, and it's just a hard thing to swallow.
That's totally true.
But
and
I do it
think there are a lot
for
of
the people. I do it for the people.
But
for all you out there, I would do it for you.
It would. I hope you do it, because it would be nice if one of us had Revan and the other didn't have Revan, so that we could talk each week about what it's like with Revan and what it's like without Revan.
What did you do with Revan this week?
Yeah,
me and Revan had a nice
that would
walk
be a
on the
whole new
beach.
segment. Yeah,
and,
no kidding. So you can go to SWGOH.life and go to their pant calculator and see where it's at, or see what it's required of you to get there. I mean, that's basically the price of a marquee. I mean, that's not that surprising. It sucks that, I mean, it does suck for, free-to-play players that aren't going to get him this time. There is pretty much 0% chance. But if you are a person that spends on marquee characters anyway, you might as well if you want Revan. I mean, oh my God, you're all right.
I'm gonna survive, I think.
All right, so I think that's enough of ranting on
I think
Revan.
we beat this into the ground.
We have beat this horse to freaking death.
The greatest part is that no one has seen the kit yet. We don't even know what Revan is.
That's true.
That's the best part.
That's true. And that could totally change some people's opinions. But as for the way it is, I am going to pull a Mason Crosby on the whole Revan thing. I will miss it. So why don't we go on to this next topic?
Someone make a Twitch clip of that. I want that forever. I will download the Twitch clip. And where are we at in this podcast? I will do it myself.
Whatever.
1 hour and 47 minutes. I'll be coming back to this.
All right. Next topic.
Hey boys, do you have any tips for us less experienced players?
So I got a very big tip here.
I'm sure you do.
Very big tip.
So you came up with a really good new player segment this week, and it is RJT focused, especially for new players. And this is not something that most people talk about. I think this is super
new
interesting.
Players. What am I gonna do from the beginning? Now maybe this will work for an alt for you. I don't know, but I literally do not know. But I am going off what I think, and the best part is, to prove that I'm not just making this up. Okay, let me just say I did write this all out as a plan of action. Now, I'm not going to just tell new players to do this without knowing myself. So let me preface all this by saying I am creating a third account to just try this. I will not be spending any money on the account. I will just be playing it daily to try to see if I can make this work. And if it does work, the account will probably be in a pretty good place, and it'll be hard to say no to. And I do that all the time with alts. It's terrible. But I'm going to be trying this myself. So if anyone else wants to try it with me, go through it. If you're a new player looking for some direction, I think this might be a good way to go. This is where everyone in the chat will tell me this is a terrible idea, and I'll say, you might be right, but I'm going to find out myself. So this idea is basically, for the longest time, we've always said, get the Phoenix. That should be your first faction you work on, because you can get Palpatine and you can get Thrawn. 2 legendaries immediately. But what if you don't just want to stop at legendaries? What if you want to go straight for a heroic journey character? A heroic journey character that is needed for the highest end of raid, and you want to get that character ready to go from the end. So let's pretend if you're a new player, you want to be, and you really like the new movies, you want to go for RJT first. This is what I want to try, okay? It doesn't seem nowadays with the way that First Order characters are that this does seem so far out. It's not going to put you behind in the game. So let me just talk about this, all right?
Okay.
The segment is, RJT focus for new players. Step 1, farm the First Order. Why? Why would you need to farm First Order if you're RJT focused? Well, the reason is you need BB-8 because you need BB-8 for JTR. So the only way to get to BB-8 is to get the First Order. Now
is it JTR or RJT?
Why did I put JTR?
Because a lot of people say Jedi training Rey, and I believe it's Rey Jedi training. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. I'm trying to.
Well, that's if you decide
you're not
you
being
want to put
consistent
the
in your
italics
acronyms.
Yeah, it's
Pick
true.
one
I
and
call
go
her
with
RJT. I don't know why.
Damn
I
it.
Listen, it's the notes. No one sees them except everyone that looks at the website. So, pros. Why go after First Order? Well, here's the good part. Okay, so if you're RJT focused, the pros of getting First Order from the beginning instead of the Phoenix, good low arena team. So when you get into the arena at level 28 now instead of 8, by that time you should have a pretty decent core for a First Order arena team, right? So basically you have a good arena team from the start. If you can get a good chunk of these characters together to form a synergy team in the arena for the low level. Other part to it is the first raid that you get to is the Rancor. And I have it on good authority that between crew lead, Fox, and First Order officer, if you put them in and throw some people around them, you have a pretty good core for a solo team. A lot of people say that a Zeta on crew's leadership makes it much easier, but it can be done without the Zeta on his leadership, which most new players won't have until they hit the fleet in level 60, I think. Level 60 is when you get fleet. So
maybe. I'm not
farm
sure.
First Order first, you got a pretty decent chance of having a decent Rancor team and good arena team for low level. Cons. Limitations in in-game use for First Order. When you get there, they're a good territory war defense or offense team. They're okay damage in the Sith raid, but other than that, you don't really use them for a whole ton. I don't know about you. I don't use them for a ton. Do you?
Not really, no.
I used them to get BB-8.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I used to use the crap out of Kylo whenever I first dated him. He was like that was a lot of fun, but yeah, as for now, it's pretty much just territory war.
Right. So yeah, territory wars, you have a decent team. Other than that, territory battles, they're pretty decent in dark side territory battles, so there's another place for them. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of use for a First Order team in the end game. But if you do want RJT, you're going to have them. And as a low new player, they're good in arena. They have a really good spot. You're not going to be fighting mirror matches against Phoenix all the time. There's a lot of things that will be good for you farming them other than Phoenix, because beyond maybe everyone wanting to fight you because they're tired of fighting Phoenix. But
Gelvatron puts a really good point in live chat, and that is cruise ship is awfully damn good, and given that him and his ship both are on a 10 energy Cantina node, I mean, you're getting a little bit ahead of the curve if that's kind of a spot where you start out farming, because you're getting a really good character and you're getting a really good ship that is good all the way through in game.
Yeah, so imagine you unlock ships and you have a 5-star, 6-star silencer ready to go.
Yeah,
You'll probably
exactly.
be a lot ahead of a lot of those people that farmed the Phoenix. So that's another good thing as far as an arena goes, fleet arena goes.
Yep.
So I think it's worth it to farm First Order first, right? I'm not saying that Phoenix is bad. I still think that's a very, very good option, but I'm throwing another idea out there. So which ones are the best to farm? This is where I would start. Crew.
Okay.
Cantina 3F, 10 energy. Not that hard to get to when you start. It's only in the 3rd level in. It shouldn't take you too long to get there, so you can farm him. If you don't get there fast enough, you could also go with Fox, which is in Cantina 2G, so on the 2nd level, who's another Cantina character that you're going to want for BB-8. So, Crew, Fox, those are the two first ones I'd say, both Cantinas, so you're going to have 2 Cantina farms in this. That's the one thing that might make it harder than Phoenix, because Phoenix don't really have any overlaps anywhere. First Order Officer, Cantina shipments. So while you farm either of those 2 characters in Cantina, you're earning currency for the Cantina shipments. You can order your First Order Officer shards. But that's already 3. Then you'll get to Galactic War. I think that's at level 32 or 30, somewhere there. It's been so long. But once you unlock Galactic War, you can get Phasma from Galactic War shipments. That one should be pretty simple because you do Galactic War every day. You get enough crystals if you're beating Galactic War to buy 15 shards a day, which is pretty good for a character that you're going to want to farm pretty quickly.
For sure.
And then the last one, you're going to unlock guilds at a certain level. I think it's 32. And in guild shipments, First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter Pilot is there on his own node. Sometimes in guild shipments, when you're a new player, it's really annoying because a lot of the older characters are on spots in the shipments where they share it with 2 or 3 other people. So maybe once a day their shards might show up, but First Order TIE Pilot it'll either always be him or his ship. So you always know where to look, and the odds of him showing up are really good for you to farm. So if you go after those 5, Crew, First Order Officer, First Order Executioner, Phasma, and First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter Pilot, that's a good starting 5 to go after relatively quickly. Now, granted, while you're working on Fox, it might take you a while. You might need someone for that 5th spot that's not First Order in the arena, but there's plenty of other. Let's see, we haven't talked about Arena Store, so there might be someone in there you can buy that doesn't hurt this farm to slot into your arena team with the First Order. I didn't really look into who's in there that might be better to go in that team until you get Fox, but that's something to look into.
Yeah.
The other First Orders are Stormtrooper, who's hard node only. I'd stay away from that one. That one will take you forever. Great character. You probably want to pick him up later for sure because it's really good.
Stormtrooper is pretty easy to get starting early though, because he is at the early stage 2s of light and dark side.
True. So if you are looking for hard nodes, he is one that you could go after, but we'll get into resistance, which is JTR's the goal. We'll get into resistance and hard nodes and why you might want to save that hard node energy for other things at this point.
Interesting.
So, Stormtrooper's hard node only, probably want to skip. Kylo Ren is also a Cantina character, probably want to skip that because that would make 3. You'll want him eventually, but maybe not at the beginning. And then First Order TIE Pilot, available in hard nodes and fleet shipments. So I would say start off going after Crew, First Order Officer, First Order Executioner, Phasma, Special Forces, TIE Fighter Pilot. That'd be a good starting 5 to try and get BB-8.
First Order Executioner is so much fun too.
Oh, I love that dude. Such a simple kit,
he's awesome,
but so fun to play with. And his gear, he's not that hard to gear either. So I mean, not really. It makes it pretty easy, at least for him.
He can go beast mode in the raids too.
Oh, that stacking. Oh, he stacks that offense and it's nasty.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Step 2, farm resistance. So this is why I was saying you might want to save some of those hard nodes because needed for JTR, you need Finn, also available in guild shipments and hard nodes, and 2 Cantina nodes. So you're going to want to start farming him in guild shipments if you have the extra guild shipment currency to go with your Special Forces TIE Fighter Pilot. He has a hard node. I did not write where it is, but it is one you might want to farm. Poe, also available in the Cantina store and the Fleet store. So several spots that you can start farming him once you have them open. BB-8 is required for JTR, acquired from the First Order while you're farming the First Order to get him. And then we come to the part that puts a wrench in all of this, and mostly the reason that I want to test this myself. The veteran smugglers are on the last. They're on 8. Cantina 8. So,
Yep.
while you're farming all these other characters, you're going to be gaining levels like crazy. You're going to be getting energy, gearing up your characters. You're going to be working really hard to gain levels and get to the point where you can get further into the cantina. I don't know what level you're at when you have all your first order ready to go that you're going to move to these characters in the cantina. So the question becomes, are you able to get there when you're ready to get there? And those are the next 2 you need to farm. That is what I want to test, because that's the hardest part, I think, is getting these 2 characters. 8G, 8F, 16 energy, really hard characters. But if you can go straight from Crew and Fox to these 2 like immediately, it makes getting JTR pretty simple once you get them to 7-star. So the idea here is, for sure, gear up your characters that you're going to use in the cantina. And then a nice fun little surprise. Go to our Discord. Check out the Excel spreadsheet we have shared where everyone can put their ally code in and share their ally code for new players and get some really good allies to help you get through these cantina nodes.
That's
Because if you have good allies, they can get you through these a little bit easier and faster, especially if you can find someone that has like a tank character that's going to, or a high damage AoE character that's going to take these people out quickly. You can get through these cantina nodes pretty easy. If you don't have those allies, it might be a little harder, but I think that is possible if you find them. And we are always willing to add, at least me and Wink are willing to add people to make that happen. So if you want our ally code, we can at least do that for sure. The veteran smugglers will be the hard part. That will be the hard part. That is the one part I hesitate in this whole plan to talk about. But I'm going to try it myself to not try to give bad advice from here. You know
would be a good character to borrow?
Farms. Whose would be one?
Han Solo. If somebody has like a really beast Han Solo, just because he gets to go at the beginning of each battle, and you can kind of pick out those keystone characters that kind of make all the other ones go and probably try and take them out, and might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely a good one. And if you will ask your allies to put him in, I'm sure they would. I remember back in the day when Lando was a big one, people would ask to put Lando in because those AoEs from him would just wipe out their cantina nodes. So I'm sure that they're AoE characters now at this point. Revan, or not Revan. What? God, Revan is on my mind so bad. Maul, Darth Maul was another good one because his AoE, if it killed someone, reset, and you could do it again instantly. So he was always a good one. There's a lot of really good ones in there. So just find some allies to get you there. Get them to 3 stars. Try as hard as you can to get them 3-star. Start farming those characters. And I think that you'll be good to go. But that would be the sticking point. So if you're listening to this as a new player, realize that the veteran smugglers are on the level 8 of Cantina. They're really hard to get to. I think that by the time you would move to them, you should be in a place in the game where you can move to them. But that's to be seen so far. But even if you aren't, you're in a place where you're ready to, as you level up to get there, and you're much closer to RJT than anyone that went after Phoenix from the start. So,
yeah.
And RJT is a really, really good arena character, even now, you know, and CLS was as well, but he's only moved back into the arena because of the Chewbacca legendary. RJT never really left the arena.
Well, that is true. RJT is probably a lot more well-rounded for the arena. However, the main reason that CLS kind of went to the wayside was because of how good the Sith are. And I don't know that you're going to be seeing all the characters that make the Sith as good as they are that early in the game, which I think is a big advantage for CLS just because of the number of rebels that you just by default land with your roster, you know, end up landing on your roster. But yeah. I totally see your point. And sure. I do like this first order strategy because they are really good. And once you get RJT, you're in a really good spot, especially for raids. Finishing high in raids, doing well for your guild in raids, that's going to boost you even more if you're finishing in those top places. So that's something else to consider as well.
So let's say you did all those first order characters, all those resistance characters. Now you're ready to go. How did you get there? Focus on crew, then Fox, and then trying to unlock the smugglers, the veteran smugglers from Cantina. Over time, while working towards the first order squad, should gain levels and gear to work into those last Cantina nodes. Get first order officer from Cantina shipments going immediately to Poe once you finish him, because Poe is going to be needed for JTR. So you have a plan already in place for Cantina store, because you're going to want first order officer, then Poe. And farm Finn and first order Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot from the guild shipments from day one of guilds. Do what you must to get the guild currency whenever you can. Raids, territory battles, territory wars, all those things add guild currency. Make sure you're doing all of them. You want all that currency you can get. If you have to pick between the two, pick the first order one, because even if you get the resistance guy, if you can't get BB-8, you're not going to get JTR. So always focus the TIE Fighter pilot over Finn, but if you can grab both, grab them. First order with crew lead will help you beat galactic war nodes easily. Use this to help you farm up Phasma. So if you have a decent core of first order along with a couple characters, when you open up galactic war, that should help you to beat it a little bit easier and help you start getting those Phasma shards. And last thing, worry about the other first order members later in your development, as they are harder to get and so would slow down all your farms. So yeah, that's my what I'm laying out there if you wanted to go for RJT. I think it's a decent plan. I think it's one that no one really talks about, because everything is always about the Phoenix, which is a really good plan. But if you wanted to do something different, this is definitely something that you could do. I don't think it would put you behind that far. Yeah, by the time you get, in the need for some of those other legendary characters, once you get these ones, or once you get BB-8 and RJT, you can go straight and focus on those characters. There's a lot of them out there. You might not even focus at this point. Grandmaster Yoda's been reworked to be really good. You might just want him over Palpatine and Thrawn.
That's true.
At this point, it just depends on what you like to play as. In this game, let me just say this, and I think this gets lost in the shuffle a lot in this game, because you chase the meta, you chase all these things. This game at its heart is a collection game. If you're not having fun with it, if you're not finding what you want out of it, there's a lot of different factions nowadays that can be good. So farm what you like, farm what's fun for you, and make it fun for you to play, not just what you think you should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally understandable. There is one thing that I really like about this farming strategy, and that's the fact that it gets you BB-8 so early in the game, because BB-8 is probably the best raid character in the game. I mean, he's unbelievable. As far as, it makes Rancor easier. He's absolutely unbelievable in Heroic AAT. Extremely good in the Heroic Sith raid. Even outside of RJT, there are good teams with BB-8, although nobody uses them because it just don't make a whole lot of sense. But you can make a lot of progress just getting BB-8 and then going from there. If you compare Thrawn to BB-8, I think BB-8's going to be a lot faster to get than Thrawn would be. And like I said, there are, of course, a lot of benefits to having BB-8 early. You could get an Admiral Akbar lead and, use BB-8. You get Han Solo pretty early in the game. So you could build a rebel team pretty easy that could, put out some serious damage. So not a terrible idea at all.
For sure. And just to go off some things that have been said in chat, you can only play what you want if you're playing to play casually. I don't agree with that at this point in the life cycle of this game. Because A, there's a lot of teams you can build that aren't meta arena teams that can still go 6 out of 6 or 4 out of 4 in territory battles and be good for you. Can still be good counters or defensive teams in territory wars. There's just so many game modes now that whatever you farm is going to be good somewhere. And as a new player, you can only focus on certain things, right? So whatever's good for you is what you're going to farm. But I don't think it means you're casual if you play what you want, because at this point, there's so many things that are good in multiple facets of the game. Some things are better in almost everything and not held down to certain areas, but I don't think you're going to be so far behind playing. Okay, let's use me for example. I have Gear 12 Ewoks. Fantastic. I don't use them in anything other than territory wars and territory battles. Guess what? Territory battles, 6 for 6 every time. Don't have to worry about it. Territory wars, good defense team or good offense team, whatever I want to do with them. They're not good anywhere else right now. But I have fun playing them, and it opens up in territory battles me to be able to platoon more important characters that other people don't want to into the platoons and open them up for them. I mean, there's good things about who you farm across the board. Now, if your favorite thing in Star Wars is Tuskens or Separatists or these characters that never got reworked yet, that's probably going to be a little hard to swallow. If your favorite thing in the game is Cup, yeah, okay. Well, I understand that. Like, if you're like me and you gear Gamorrean Guard just because you like him, it's hard. It's a hard thing to swallow. But if you're going for synergy teams, I don't think in a lot of cases you can go wrong. There are some that you can, but as far as you're working on a team synergy-wise, there's a lot of places for them. So.
All right, before we move on to trivia, when are we going to come back and revisit this and see how it's going? What do you say, 3 months around Christmas time?
Sure. We could even do once a month. I don't know. Just depends.
Do a first order new player update?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this last final topic.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their SWGOH knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order Trivia. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us. Why don't you give everyone what that sweet, sweet game pin is for Kahoot Trivia this week?
All right, for everyone out, whoa, that is some loud. I love the Cantina music, but it's a little loud.
Even now?
It is, even now, still a little loud. Okay, now we're good. All right, so for those of you playing at home, we are working on with triumvirate, whatever you want to call it, mechanics.
Ooh.
So let's put Darth Nihilus, Darth Sion, and Darth Trey on the same team. Let's see if we know what's going on here. I still use that in Arena, so I might have a little more than you. I don't know. We'll see. You did finally beat me last week after what? Like a 6 or 7 game win streak for me? So
yeah,
maybe you're building your own win streak now. We'll see.
I crushed you.
You won by less than 200 points. I don't know if that's crushing. I know that I beat you by at least 5,000 points at one point. So
yeah, total destruction. All right, so what's that game code?
All right, so the game pin for this week is 052746 Again,
and that of course is in the show notes also.
It will be in the show notes. I will post it on Discord. I've been pretty bad about that, but I'll make sure to do that right after this podcast and get that in there.
Okay.
Once again, your pin is 05274668.
Sweet. All right. Why don't we jump into...
Question 1.
Because I don't have my pins in yet. I've been talking about the pins, and I don't have them in the 2 devices I have. I just want to say this. Looking at 118 trivia, top 5, for those of you out there that want to know who the top 5 were, you have Andra, Ski Trooper, Silver 6, and Joe Kerr. Joe Kerr being a former Shattered Order member, so congratulations, Joe. Nice to see you're still out there ramming into the trivia. All right. Those are some new names on the trivia top 5 from last week. They did some pretty good work there.
Nice.
I ended up 70th. No, that's on my alt. All right, so I ended up 10th. Sorry.
I finished better than 10th then, because I beat you.
Probably 9th. Let's be honest.
Whatever. All right.
All right, I'm putting in the pins now. Give me 2 seconds.
God, you are so slow.
I know, I'm just trying to talk.
I actually got Treya before you, so I think I am probably a little bit more familiar with the Triumvirate.
I don't know if it was that much longer, though.
It was a few weeks. 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, true. And it's only been a few weeks since you took her out, so maybe we're even now. Should be interesting.
Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I have to be very well... Actually, I don't have to be very well against Face and Treya teams. They're pretty easy now. That's a good point. I used to have to be very aware, though.
Are you ready for question 1?
I have been waiting on.
Question 1.
All right, question 1 is... Which member of the Triumvirate does not have a leadership ability? And go.
The options, of course, are Scion, Treya, or Nihilus. And then there is also the they all do option. What did you select?
Darth Scion.
I selected Darth Scion as well.
How many points did you get?
996.
I got the exact amount of points as you.
That would be expected. I think we are done with the timer, so I think you get the same number of points no matter what, if I remember correctly.
Really? Because there's a
wrong.
timer going down on my questions.
Oh, really? Interesting. All right.
Question 2. Which member of the Triumvirate can inflict the most kinds of debuffs naturally? I don't know what naturally means, but we're going to go with that. All right, you ready?
And the options are they don't inflict debuffs, trick question, Darth Scion, Darth Nihilus, or Darth Treya.
All right. What did you pick?
I picked Darth Treya.
So did I, because I didn't think about if naturally meant if she used her special or not.
Ah.
Because those aren't her debuffs, but she's inflicting them, right? She inflicts all the debuffs from her team?
Yes, but there's like several other debuffs that she does anyway. How many points did you get on that one?
1,090.
Ah, you got one more than me. Interesting.
You got 1,089?
Yeah.
If I beat you by 1 point, that would be the best thing ever.
That's stupid. All right, why don't we move on to...
Question 3.
All right, question 3. Which member of the Triumvirate cannot inflict debuffs on enemies outside of their turn? And go.
And the possible answers are Scion, Nihilus, Treya, or stop the trick questions. It's not working. And what did you select?
I selected Treya.
I selected the same thing. How many points did you get?
1191.
I got 1187. This is ridiculous. Why am I getting less points than you?
I'm clicking that button faster than you, bro.
Oh, How many points are you at after the first 3 questions?
3,277.
You're up by 5 points on me. This is absurd. Ugh. All right, why don't we move on to
Question 4.
Question 4. True or false? Darth Traya can target herself as the ally when inflicting isolate.
possible answers are true, false, or trick question. And what did you select?
I selected something that made me learn something new today.
Oh, really?
I did not know
And
she
what
could
did-
select herself. So
Wow.
I said false.
I said true because she can select herself and reduce her own cooldowns and give herself
never
protection.
even tried it because why would I?
The AI does it pretty frequently. That's usually why she always ends up with so much purple in her protection bar.
That's crazy. Well, that's good to know. I've
Yeah,
never
I know.
once in an arena battle thought, let me try to do this to myself.
It's pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's good to know.
All right.
Question number 5.
All right, question 5. Which member can grant others a bonus protection? Oh, sorry. It's not a bonus protection. That's just part of the crack in this phone screen. Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Which member can grant others bonus protection?
Possible answers are Scion, Nihilus, Treya, or none, you fool.
What'd you
And
pick?
I selected Darth Treya because she is the correct answer.
As did I.
Well, I am pretty sure that I am still up as we move into question number 6.
All right, question number 6 is, which member gains turn meter when other members of the triumvirate are debuffed?
And the possible options are Treya, Scion, Not Falling for It, or Darth Nihilus. And what did you select?
The wrong answer.
What?
Scion I picked. I guess I don't know the turn meter gain for Nihilus that well.
Yeah, he gains 10% turn meter whenever a fellow Sith is inflicted with a debuff.
I didn't know the answer, so I looked at my own arena team and who seemed to be going the most, and it always seems to be Scion. So,
Interesting.
I need you to miss 2 answers and me to get 2 right to even have a chance here. So how many we got? 3 left. You have to miss 2 out of 3. I don't feel good about
Oof.
this.
Oof. We'll see what happens.
We will.
3 more questions left. All right. Tell us what question number 7 is.
All right, question number 7 is, which member can reduce the cooldowns of one of their own abilities during their turn?
The possible answers are Treya, Darth Nihilus, Scion, or nope, multiple. Can't trick me. What did you select?
Well, first I wanted to select Treya, knowing this new information, but then I thought, Nihilus force trains.
Yes.
So I picked nope, multiple, can't trick me.
Yep. I selected Treya. I was trying to quickly get my answer in to maximize my points and did not finish reading and thinking about the question.
So I just need you to miss 1 more and me to get it right, and it'll go down to the wire.
Well, I have a lot stacked up from a lot of points stacked up from my consecutive streak, so we will see. Why don't you tell us what question number 8 is?
All right, question number 8 is, attacking an isolated raid boss grants the attacker which 2 buffs?
All right, and the options are offense and crit damage, retribution and taunt, crit damage and health steal, or max health and speed. And what did you select?
I haven't done it. Thank you. Straight up guess, and I got it right. All right.
Wow.
I selected crit damage and health steal.
That is the correct answer. That is what I selected as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
Because that is what was causing the Critolite team to loop, was the health steal and the increased crit damage.
Okay. Before we continue, here's what threw me off. I got notifications on both phones I'm using for Kahoot right now from Discord saying, "Hey everyone, Shattered Order is live on Twitch right now." And I'm like,
that just happened?
I'm like, at 10:59, you're gonna tell everyone that we're on Twitch? We've been on Twitch for an hour and a half.
That's crazy.
Sorry, 2.5 hours. That is freaking odd. And the funny thing is, it says today at 8:36 in Discord, but the picture is of me and you playing trivia. I'm so confused. All right, anyways, last question. Comes down to this. You got to miss it, and I got to get it right for me to even have a chance to beat you. But I'd have to get better points than the difference that I have on you. So this is it's coming down to the wire.
All right.
Last question is, held by hatred grants Scion all but which of the following benefits? And go.
Ooh. The possible answers are plus 100% offense, plus 50% max health, plus 100% defense, and plus 25% crit chance. And Goodnight Punk, you selected the answer... What?
Max health.
That is the answer I selected as well, and it is the correct answer.
Dang it!
Woo!
I got 1,167 points for that, so I was really hoping you missed it because I think it would have filled the gap between you and I.
I got 1083, so we will see how close that would have.
Well, we're not close because I missed one more than you did, so.
Yeah. Well, even if you subtracted the almost 1,100 points off of me, what did you end up with? I was at 9517.
7505.
Yeah, I still would have won.
95? I did not miss two more than you. How does that work?
You get bonus points for consecutive answers, correct?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Gotcha.
And I had like 6 correct in a row, so
that
I racked up some
sir.
points.
Makes sense, sir.
Indeed. Well, this is the best I've done in trivia, and I'm so pissed I missed that answer because I obviously knew the answer. I just trying to hurry too fast. That sucks. That really sucks.
It happens.
Should have gone 100% on that one. I'll be curious to see how many people beat me this week, though. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances of finishing at the top, so we will see. We will see.
We shall see.
Indeed.
I'm in third, right behind you, but geez, Virus with the 1,954 points. 11,954 points. He must have blasted every answer out.
Holy crap. Really? Yeah, that has not come up on mine yet. Dang, nice
Dagobah
job, dude.
From the Republic, represent. Good job, Virus. That's dang good score. We'll see if it holds up in the next week.
That is nutso.
For sure.
All right, well, this has been episode 119 of the Shadow Order Podcast. Thanks for hanging out and doing trivia and listening to us word vomit about
a lot of things.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out for us, with us, for us, to us, whatever. Thanks for hanging out this long, and we will catch you guys next week.
Let's let the sleepy guy go to sleep. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Catch you later.
Later.